Okay, hi, grade 9 math. So this is one of Mr. Smith's Edpuzzle explanatory videos where I go through a question. And so the format for these are similar to what I've done before in terms of I'm not going to do the actual question that I've assigned you in your homework. I want to give you an opportunity to solve that on your own. But of course, I will make up a question that is very similar in structure to the question that's in your homework. Okay, so let's just start right away. Let's dive into this. This one is from page 327. This is question 9D. So the actual 9D question reads 1.5p plus 1/4 equals 2.25p plus 5/2. All right, so I'm not going to solve this question for you, but I will solve something similar. Okay, so I've got 1.25m plus 1/2 equals 7/4 or 7/4m minus 1/2. You notice that this question has essentially four terms. So there's four parts to this question, and there's four terms here. Okay. Now, I've been saying in class, there's no right or wrong way to approach this. This is what I think students are struggling with a little bit from the standpoint of what's the best way to solve this? I think as mathematicians, we want to ask ourselves, what's the most efficient way to solve this? So lots of students with quarters and halves, they're not too intimidated or put off by the fractions, and they'll just solve the question as is. So we could do that. And in fact, that's the first way I'm going to show you, okay? So we have a variable term here. We have a variable term here. Here we have a constant term. I'm just going to just choose a different color. So I'm going to go with orange. So we have a half and a half. So this term has a variable term, and its coefficient is 7/4. You see the letter m, that's the variable. The letter m, that's the variable. There's the coefficient. Okay, so I'm going to choose, number one, I don't like mixed numbers. So I'm going to choose to turn this into an improper format. Now, guys, I'm going to be doing a lot of videos, so I really appreciate I'm not going to edit these videos, so if you catch any mistakes, do let me know, okay? Because I'm not going to have time, because my plan is to do lots of these videos, and I'm not going to have a lot of time to just review each one and edit it, okay? I'll do my best, though. All right, all I did was create 5/4 m. Now, what am I going to do to both sides? I want to get the letter m. I want to get the variable on the same side. Okay. So I'm going to subtract 7/4 m from both sides. That will create a zero pair on this side. So what am I left with? I'm left with, yes, this used to be a subtraction, but I've zero paired this front part out. So there's nothing left to subtract a half. So it becomes, you can think of it as a negative a half now, because this is a zero. If you really want to do subtraction and you insist on it, what's 0 minus a half? Well, the answer is negative half, okay? So over here, well, first of all, I didn't touch this positive half, so I'm adding a half, or this is positive half. Didn't deal with that. I do have 5/4 minus 7/4. To write that, luckily, we already have common denominators, so we could rewrite this subtraction question like this. 5 subtract 7/4, okay? Remember, you're subtracting the 7. Yeah, you're subtracting a bigger number from a smaller number. That's okay. In grade 9, positive, negative, it's all good. Don't be intimidated or scared just because it's, oh my gosh, it's 5 minus 7. Yeah, the answer is negative 2/4m plus 1/2 is equal to negative half. Okay, first of all, I'm going to reduce this. This is 1/2m plus half equals negative half. Now, I've got the variables together. I started with two terms that were variables. I've got it down to 1. Now it's time to get the constants together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to subtract a half from both sides. Now watch carefully. I'm going to put an asterisk here because this operation often kind of stymies or confuses students. By the way, that's a zero pair. I had adding a half, so I subtracted a half. That's a zero pair. So what am I left with? I'm left with, on the left side, negative 1/2 m. Now, a negative half, subtract a half, okay? Think of it. It's -1, subtract 1, all over the same common denominator of 2. That's equal to, and I notice in my camera I'm slowly running out of space, negative 1 subtract 1 is -2/2, or just -1. So, let's going to adjust this. -half m is equal to -1. What should I do? Well, I kind of like the reciprocal method, okay? In other words, whenever I have a fraction, I'm tempted to flip it. Make sure you keep the sign the same. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. And what does that look like? Well, the reciprocal of -half is -2/1. We're multiplying it to -1/2 m is equal to -1 times -2. So what do we get here? -2 times -1 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. That's essentially an m. That's what we wanted. That was our goal. Our goal was to get m by itself. Okay? M by itself. That's good. We're a happy moment here. Now what's the result? -2 here times -1 is a +2. If you really want to insist on doing this whole fractions, 1 times 1 is 1. That's 2/1. M is equal to 2. Okay? Now, you can check it. I'm going to just make sure you're not off camera here, Mr. Smith. I'm going to check this. Okay? Let's check it. So take the original equation. You know what? I'm going to just start with 5/4. Okay? The original question said 1 1/4, but I'm going to go ahead and just put 5/4. Okay, 5/4. 5/4 m plus 1/2 equals 7/4 m minus 1/2. Okay, let's see if this works out. 5/4. Now, what am I doing? I've got a solution. This is a solution. I'm going to plug in my solution and see if it works. Okay? Plus 1/2 is equal to 7/4 times 2 minus 1/2. Okay, so that is 5 times, remember this is over 1, this is over 1. 5 times 2 is 10, 4 times 1 is 4. This is 10/4 plus 1/2. Over here, we have 7, again, 2/1. 7 times 2. Remember, multiplying fractions, no common denominator, just multiply away. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. 7 times 2 is 14. 4 times 1 is 4, minus 1/2. Okay. Well, you know what? At this point, I'm super tempted to just convert these to all decimals. What's 10 divided by 4? I'm doing the literal interpretation of fractions. It's division. What's 10 divided by 4? 2.5. What's 1/2 as a decimal? 0.5. What's 14/4? 14/4 is 3.5. What's 1/2 as a decimal? 0.5. And look what we have here. 2.5 plus half, or 2.5 plus 0.5, is equal to 3. 3.5 subtract 0.5 is 3. Okay? So you can just write yourself a little note. It works. Happy times. All good. Okay? That was just one way of doing it. I'm going to show 2 more ways of doing it. Okay? All right, we'll see you in part 2.